Welcome back to the Bruins Diehards, your source for all things Boston Bruins. Going to do another pod today, and I have Bobbie Brewski from Only Bruins Podcast. It's I've been on their show. It's time for him to be on my show. He is the man from Winnipeg, the Winter Wonderland himself. Bobbie, how you doing?
Not bad. Just woke up feeling like $1,000,000, or as we say in Canada, feeling like a hot piece of butter melted on a couple slapjacks. Saw the Bruins win last night here on the beaches. Gotta love it. How you doing?
I'm good. I love the fact that you call Winnipeg the beaches. For the listeners, I also do find this very interesting. I would say over 50% of the Bruins content creators, we all live in Canada.
Yeah.
Which is very, very interesting. But Bobbie calling Winnipeg the beaches, you need to understand Minnesota is probably the coldest place in all of the United States. Winnipeg is colder. That's all I need people to understand. The people in Winnipeg need to have their cars plugged in at night so that they start in the morning. That is just a thing. Where I live, it's pretty much the same weather as like New York City. In fact, Boston actually gets worse winters than me. But Bobbie over here, he lives in cold. He lives in a tundra.
I think the best way to describe it is when you go outside, your nostrils freeze, and then you breathe, and then they melt, and then you breathe them in, and they freeze. And you breathe out, they melt. Breathe in, they freeze, and it's just a constant cycle. But I love it.
Yeah, I was
I
supposed to
wouldn't have it
actually
any
be
other
in
way.
Winnipeg 2 weeks ago for work, and I didn't go, and I was gonna go to the hockey game, and, at the time, I was looking at this, like, when my customer was like, "Hey, I need you to come out." I'm like, "Can we try and make it this so it's, like, summertime?" I was like, It's cold where I am." Like, I got 30 centimeters of snow outside, but, it's cold in Winnipeg, but it was warm last night, so I wanted to start off. We're gonna be as always, everybody listening, thank you, thank you, thank you, community. Thank you, everybody that's always in the comments. I know you're loving these shows. Please click like, subscribe, do all those great things. Go check out Only Bruins Pod. Today, we're gonna do a recap on the game from last night because you know what? The Bruins won a hockey game and they did the normal Bruins thing. We got to see new stadium jerseys. We're going to talk about that. There are some trade rumors around the Boston Bruins that dropped on the 32 Thoughts podcast. I want to talk about David Pastrnak, Hart Trophy, and so much more on today's edition of Bruins Diehards. But let's get into it. Bobbie, you were boots on the ground at the hockey game last night.
I sure was. Yeah. So just to give some context here, like the last time the Bruins were in town, almost a year to the day, they got smacked 8-1 by the Jets. It was
That was the Swayman game,
uh,
right?
Swayman, yeah, in for all 8 goals, and it was just like and the year before, it was that Centennial year, they lost 5-1, and it was both games, they just looked discombobulated. I do have a theory about this, but I'll go more into the game first, though. Bruins came in, though, and they looked great. They looked more relaxed. There wasn't any real tension. I thought that slow start you saw in St. Louis, I was a little nervous about going into the game. We didn't see that per se. But yeah, no, they looked great, and
Did let in
obviously a
a
few
goal on the
injuries.
third shot, though. I'm
Yeah,
just saying this is now a trend. If you follow Ty Anderson, you might as well just be doom scrolling when you go on Twitter. But the Boston Bruins have now officially, I think it's 14. I'm gonna double
I believe
check.
so.
14 times they've let in the first goal on either the first shot, the second shot, or the third shot. It's getting to the point where it's becoming an issue with the Boston Bruins. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times now. The Boston Bruins have let in the first, second, or third shot of the game. And I hate to say it, but Jonas Corposalo is in for 75% of those games. And I have
So
an interesting theory about Jonas Corposalo. I know he played well last night. I feel like he needs to let in the first goal. Otherwise, he's going to have a bad game. He doesn't like playing with a lead at all.
it's funny that you say that. So like the reason why I said they started off good is because so obviously the Jets score, Morgan Barron scores, and 13,000 people jump up. And I looked over to the people I was at the game with, and I was like, eh, that's Corpusalo. And the person, like, 'cause they're all Jets fans, he's like, what? And I was like, this is what they do. It's okay. And then like, he looked at me and he was just like, oh, I wish I could just see the opposite team score a goal and just be fine. And I was like, I just, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think
I don't
we've
think
gotta
we're
be
gonna
used
see a
to it at this
shutout.
point. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think I literally was watching it with my daughter last night, I love the fact that my daughter is huge into watching hockey games now, but, I said to her, I was like, "Well, we know we're gonna be down 1-0, and then we'll see what happens from there." And in true fashion this year with this Boston Bruins team, I'm calling the lunch pail kids because I that's how I feel they are. A lot of people with the piss and vinegar, I kind of can't stand the piss and vinegar thing, especially on who started it. Unfortunately, if you listen to my show or watch my videos, we all know my feelings about Mr. Cam Neely, but um, they're more lunch pail kids than piss and vinegar. I would say our fourth line now, which I actually like that line about time that Tanner Jeannot's on the fourth line, and not in a bad reference. I think he's played well this year, but I think that line of Corrali, Kastelik, and Jeannot is phenomenal to be a fourth line because they punish people out there. I thought that they got caved in a little bit when they were extended a little bit and they got too many shifts in a row. There was an issue right after, I believe, one of the power plays. He threw the line back out there when they scored real quick and I was like, I wouldn't have done that. And they got caved
Yeah.
in, and the puck was in the zone for way too long of a time. I think that they need their 40-second shift and nothing else. But I look at this team that they continue over and over and over again to come back and persevere. Like Winnipeg is not a bad team. Yes, they are missing the best goalie in the NHL right now, and they are struggling. But they caved in the Bruins the last time you were at the game, right? 7-1,
Mhm.
like or 8-1 was it? 7-1,
8-1, yeah.
8-1, 8-1. So I just find the resiliency from this hockey team to be way too good. I love Marco Sturm's comment after the game saying that, "Great game, Pasta, you third liner," but, like, with a wink. If you look at last night's stats, David Pastrnak played on literally almost every line except the fourth line, had more ice time than any
Mhm.
other forward, and he actually played on 2 lines all night long. He
Yeah,
played on the first line
which was
with Geekie and Lindholm, and they looked fantastic. And he played on the third line, which is hilarious. I don't think he'll be playing on the third line much longer. I think they're just getting him back into the games. But what else did you notice from the game?
the huge thing I liked was Husadinov's game. And I know we're big Hootsie guys and OB, but him and Minton are just like I know Brett and me talked about this 3 weeks ago, but getting to see it again live, just doing the ISO cam, there was a few times a few people around me were like, "Who's 92?" And kinda, like, leaning in to try to get, that insight, and I'm like, "Some kid from Russia." I don't know, we got him from Minnesota, and
And he
he's just,
plays way better on the wing, I think, than he
way
does.
better.
Yeah.
I think his sporadic game allows Minton to kinda lock in a little more in that center position, but, circling back to some surprises and maybe some little loose connections of Minnesota and why we got Murat in the first place. Seeing Charlie McAvoy on the ice with the bubble,
Fantastic.
oh, and he looked great. There's so many moments during the game
Except
where
on
I
that
was like,
PK.
yeah,
That was Fraser Minton, terrible job at the faceoff, almost falls flat on
yeah,
his face, doesn't take the man off the draw, and I know everybody loves Fraser Minton, but it was bad. I do think he needs to do better on his faceoffs. Terrible on the faceoff, then the puck, and then they all just watched. Like, Charlie McAvoy literally, like, did, like, the lamest of poke checks and just stared at them, and then you had Steves on the other side waving, and I'm like, "Okay, guys." Like, Corpusella was just like, what? What's going on here?" Which was their
yeah,
biggest lapse. It was interesting. I saw a lot of comments, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. A lot of people were like, Mason Lowry looked terrible, and Andrew Peak looked terrible. And I was like, I'm to the point, and this is just my personal opinion. People just like to pick on Mason Lowry. He is an offensive
yeah.
defenseman. People pick on Evan Bouchard out in Edmonton. With the same reasons they pick on Mason Lowry. I don't know what it is about specific fan bases when a player is a offensive player that they're like, well, I still want him to do this. Well, guess what? That's not his game. Andrew Peak has been terrible for weeks now, and unfortunately, Mason Lowry had to play with him. But what did you see from that pair? Because
That's
they were bad.
that yeah, that was the thing with, like, Laurie last night where there'd be moments where I'd be like, "I should have been a little," the Iafallo goal,
Yep,
at first, I was like, "Come on, like, you're a defenseman, like, you gotta bury the guy on the
agreed.
boards,"
He
you
did not
know?
look good.
And I'm like, "Corpy got the save," and I rewatched the play after, and I'm like, "I'm asking Mason Lohrei to body someone.
And
That's
he's
not
yeah, and he's
he's
been
not
doing it every now and
it's not
then.
his style."
Yeah, and he's been
Yeah,
blocking shots, but at the same time, my dad doesn't drain this into my brain. There's still 4 other guys on the ice plus a goalie.
yeah.
So whenever I'm like, oh, this one guy, my dad's like, yeah, but 3 other guys would have had to broken up and not covered their guy or done their problem to get the puck to where it was. So there was all these mishaps to get
Mhm.
to where it was. Like, I know you say, Husadinov, that third line. I think they need to figure something out because Pasta's not gonna be there anymore. I
Yeah.
just don't see that happening, especially with we got the injuries last night. We lost Asparat, who's been playing great. We lost Victor Arvidsson. Did you see how he even got hurt? I still can't figure it out.
So he went for a hit. I believe it's on Luke Shen, and he fell into the boards awkwardly. Because I remember him skating off the ice and kind of hobbling off, like, on one leg, and just kinda being like, "I hope that's not what I think it is." Like, I hope that's just like a stinger, but yeah, he didn't come back after that because he struggled to get off the ice. Because I believe in it, 'cause that was in the second period, and Hutsidinov too. Also, he blocked a shot maybe a couple minutes after that. He didn't play for the rest of the second period. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, "Well, I don't see Asparot, I don't see Arvy, and I don't see Hutsi."
But Hutzi came back in
That
the
was
third, right?
he came back in the third,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
Arvy did. Um, I hope it's nothing serious, but yeah, like I said, he wasn't putting pressure on it. I believe it was his right leg.
But this team just won without David Pastrnak and Charlie
And Charlie
McAvoy. Mind
McAvoy.
you, another crazy stat was the whole like how many games this team wins when they actually have their defense, which is very, very telling. I think Raycroft put it out there. I'm gonna just try and find it while you keep talking about the game. But I thought it was
Yeah.
very interesting the stat when they actually have Lindholm. Yes, when they actually have Lindholm, they're 5-1 when they actually have Lindholm, uh, Elias Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, and Charlie McAvoy on the ice at the same time. Because I think, and I know I'm not in the everybody doesn't really agree with me. I think Elias Lindholm has played very well this year. I think he
Yeah.
did a phenomenal job last night. I'm sure you got to watch it. He was one of their best players on the ice last night. David Pastrnak, 7 points in 2 games, was obviously the best player, and we'll get into why I think he's should win the Hart Trophy later. But I thought again, the Bruins they 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 commanded that win. They outplayed Winnipeg. They had their laps. I thought that the ice was tilting a little bit, and you probably would have heard it with the fans. Were the fans getting into it late in that first period?
Like, yeah, like they were I'll circle back to this. So they started off pretty rowdy, 3-1. Sean Corrali scores. It's entering library status. I'm starting to get nervous because I'm like, no, don't do this again. Like, don't. But yeah, towards the end of the first, when the Jets came back, it got rowdy. But you can see with the Jets, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay. Like, their second line center, Nemistakov, was just a bulldozer out there. Like, I was just seeing them all
Yeah.
over the ice, and I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, we're back. They're back. Everything's all good." But at the back of my mind, I was like, "This is what the Bruins do, though. This is what Marco Sturm's Bruins do. They give you that little glimmer of light, and then they just take it away." And they just constantly did that in cycles throughout the game. But it was just, yeah. I think for me, when Elias scored, circling back to him, when he scored, you
Last
could just feel the
assist, oh,
gut punch.
Jesus, and hey, coincidentally, people, Elias Lindholm scores and Geekie does not get the assist, but that doesn't get again, that doesn't happen unless Geekie does what he does. His forecheck
Mhm.
on that play to gain the puck, to pop it out, I thought Geekie played one of his best two-way games. We've seen him in a long time. It felt like a resume, "Hey, I wanna make Team Canada" game. He
Yeah.
I really felt that way when I was watching it. I was like, "Wow." Defensively, I thought Morgan Geekie played phenomenal against the Winnipeg Jets, but his forecheck game was disgusting. He had again, he's not gonna win the Cy Young anymore because Geekie just keeps getting assists. He got 3 assists last night. I thought Geeky, yes, he didn't score, but I thought he played great in that game. I'm becoming a very, very big fan of Morgan Geeky this year. It just I just love the way he's playing the game, and I love the way he can change his game to what he needs to do. I love the quote from Pasta after he goes, "We've gone over so much adversity, but man, I really wanted to get Geeks that goal at the end of the game." Like when they had the
Yeah.
empty net,
Oh,
Pasta
the
was
he had a
looking
few bad
past the whole
chances.
way. Geeky passed to him, and he was like, "Ah, don't." Like he wanted to get the puck to him, which I appreciate because I don't care what anybody says. You can kill me in my comments. David Pastrnak is the captain of this hockey club. I don't want to hear it
Mhm.
anymore. That Zadorov. Pastrnak is the captain of the hockey club. Zadorov is definitely an assistant captain, and Charlie McAvoy has stood out to be the assistant captain. Sorry, Hampus Lindholm, but David Pastrnak, not just because he's the best player on the team, he is a leader on and off the ice. He is your captain of this hockey team. It just is what it is. But the guy has been phenomenal since he come back. And I thought Morgan Geekie and Elias Lindholm were the best players on the ice for the Bruins last night.
I agree. I agree full-heartedly. Like, compared to last year's game, that was about a week after the whole him tweeting at Brett. Just not no one played good that night. But this is gonna be me kind of throwing this into the world here because I'm also a huge Mark Scheifele fan. Mark Scheifele, just I don't know. The Olympic argument is for me, it's done
Yeah, I don't
after
think he's
last
making
night.
the team. I don't
No.
but I also don't think Morgan Geekie's making the team. I got
Yeah.
lambasted for this in my comments when I said Geekie could make Team USA, but he can't make Team Canada. And people came at me and I was like, "Well, Team Canada has the best forward group in the Olympics. This is not a,
No.
oh yeah, so and so's. No, this is not even a comparison. Team USA has the best goaltending and they have the best defense. That's just the way it is. Team Canada has the best defensemen, but they don't have the best defense. But Team Canada has the best forward group. It, it,
100%.
it, they have they have the best forward in the tournament. They have the best defenseman in the tournament, but I still think Team USA, led by Jake and Slavin, is way better defense. Way better defense. Defensively, and I even think defensively, Team USA is probably going to be a tougher out, but the forward group in Canada is just crazy. It's just crazy
Yeah.
that Morgan Geekie won't make this team. And it's
Yeah,
only going to be either Celebrini or Bedard. And, Tom Wilson's probably going to be there, especially with the small ice. And maybe Bo Horvat out of the Islanders. Maybe.
maybe, yeah. Good problem to have as a country.
Yeah, I know, but I
Yeah.
found it very interesting that because I want to maybe clarify because a lot of people got really upset in my
Yeah.
comments that I said that Canada has a better forward group. It's because they do. But I still think they're the two best teams in the tournament because Russia isn't there. I don't think Russia would
100%.
be the best tournament team, but I think they would be up there. It would be those three.
They've got that psychological edge on Canada. There's always gonna be that rival. And with them out, USA just slots in as number 1 for our rivals, but
And
if
it's
Russia's
hey,
there,
that was
there's
anybody's
always a big
game.
bad.
It could have went either way in the Four Nations, who wins that hockey game. USA took it to them, and maybe they should have waited to take it to them. Maybe they should have waited for their little, and I'll call it what it is, a stunt, because it was. The fact that they had like a whole thing about it, and I know I'm getting off topic here. The fact that they had a whole like chat about it and all that, and they were planning to do that, that's called a stunt.
Yeah.
That's not, it's hockey, but at the same time, it's laughable in the same sentence. But and that's just the way I feel. You should be rough and all that kind of stuff, but to have like a planned event, maybe you should have, because it did throw Canada off, but
Mhm.
it woke them up and made them kick the living daylights out of the next time they played you. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I thought the Boston Bruins play a lot like Team USA. That is great. They have no quit. Besides Austin Matthews on Team USA, let's never compare anybody to the Leafs. I mean, to the Bruins, to Austin Matthews, because that's a trash can on fire, and that guy's career is going
Oh,
downhill. But
Lord.
that's so
Such a
true,
banger,
man.
I
He's
know.
so not
You're not
good.
wrong. You
Oh,
are
you can
not
get
wrong.
mad at me all you want on this, people, but Austin Matthews is a glorified Brett Hall and nothing more. He can't carry a team; he's just a piece. But this Bruins team, I love the fourth line. I want to get into the injuries. They win the hockey game, and they deserve to win that hockey game.
100%.
Arvidsson probably is out. Let's say he is. I think that bodes well for Steve's because I think they were letting Steve stay up on that top line, but he didn't. You saw it. Third period, Steve's
Mhm.
did not play with them. It was David Pastrnak. Pastrnak just played on two lines. Here's my guess, and tell me what I want your opinion right after. Pastrnak moves back up into the first line winger, especially with the comments Sturm said after the game, and everybody chuckled about it. Steve slots in on that second line. Now we need someone on that third line. Or they call up Fabian Lysell. They give him a game up on the second line, and Steve goes to the third line because I think Steve's and Minton and Husadinov would be a dynamite line. But the Bruins need
I
scoring.
could see it.
They need secondary scoring, but I think that fourth line set in stone. I think the first line set in stone. But what do you do with the middle six? And do you call up Fabian Lysell?
It's the golden opportunity. If he
Wasn't
was
it though
gonna come
before
up.
though?
Sorry?
Wasn't it before though? They called up Merkulov and played him 10 minutes. Not even. Sorry, I say 10
That's
minutes. It was less than that.
It was less than yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why Fabian's always last to the party with these situations, but I mean Minnesota. It's like I said, like they got a lot of injuries over there too, so you're not getting the best version of them as well. But it's just I don't see how you don't call them up.
Well,
I
calling
don't.
up guys on the road is tough. When are the
Tough,
Bruins?
yes.
Yeah, when are the Bruins at home again? Let me
I
pull
think
up the
next
schedule.
week they play
They got
Utah on
oh wow.
Tuesday.
So they're on the road. They got Minnesota. Yeah. So if Arvidsson is still hurt for the 16th, that's a game you call Fabian Lysell up for, is Utah. Fast, go, go, go. I think you're not going to call someone up on the road, especially, well, you do have time in between.
Mhm,
I'm very, there are rumors and that you can look by scouts. Edmonton Oilers are looking around Fabian Lysell again. They definitely did in the summertime. I think they're looking around again. Comments from Marco Sturm makes me think he's not a fan. When Marco Sturm said that he had a lot more pull than previous coaches on who they call up on Behind the Bee, he talked about like calling guys up from the minors, so on and so forth. He had a choice between Lysell and Merkulov, and he called up Merkulov. And then he didn't even play him after 2 shifts. It was like, you suck, we're done. So Merkulov's never getting another chance. People can say what they want. I almost think Blumel might not get another chance. I still think that. Comes back from the injury. I don't know. He didn't play well, and he wasn't playing in that game. And then he got hurt, and it was like, you were going to get sad anyway. So unfortunate. I have a weird feeling that Marco Sturm is not a fan of Fabian Lysell. And he could be proven wrong because Lysell's lighting it up in Providence and playing well. But he's also getting benched every now and then. In those same games, he
mhm.
scores goals.
And the comment I'll make on that is that I know during Don Sweeney's preseason press conference, he talked about having a kind of string communication between him, Marco Sturm, Evan Gold, and Ryan Janelle, as I just butchered his
It's
name.
okay. I butcher names
Yeah.
all the time. We allow this.
But I feel like you've kind of seen that early on this season. There is a flow of communication. I don't know what it was like yesteryears in the Bruins, but yeah, so you might have some weight with the Lysell stuff. And if I was Marco, I'd maybe ask myself, like, why aren't you in the league yet then? Like he's been given chances, obviously. Has he been given enough of a chance? That's up for debate. He looked good at the end of the last season. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past anybody to know that Marco's probably not a Fabian fan.
Yeah,
But
like
if you're gonna if you're
I
gonna
think they gave
sell
him a chance
him,
at the end of the year, and I thought Fabian Lysell proved that he was well,
mhm.
but I thought Fabian Lysell looked terrible in the preseason.
Yeah, he didn't claw for that spot the way that perfect second line winner spot that was wide open.
The
Like,
Bruins
hey,
need a
the only
winger,
thing
and we'll get
stopping you
into
from
that.
this is Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah, the Bruins need a winger. These are facts.
This is it. That's the only thing in your way, buddy. That's it. The guy didn't play. He played 1 shift in the finals last year. This is it, and he didn't take it. So maybe it's not a golden opportunity in Minnesota or Utah, but it's getting to the constraints where it's like, if you're gonna quote unquote move on from Fabian Lysell, I think you need to give him one last chance and an opportunity to showcase him on the big show.
I agree. I think
Mhm,
even if you're going to move him, you need to give him a chance. Just poop or get off the pot. Like figure it out.
mhm,
Because he obviously can score goals. The Bruins need scoring. On 32 Thoughts, the podcast. I'll lead into before we get into the stadium jerseys. On 32 Thoughts, the podcast, Elliot Freeman talked about that the Boston Bruins, they could be in on a forward out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So here's the whole thing going on. Elliot Freeman on 32 Thoughts, the podcast. I'm sorry, I tried to share it. It's not working. It is what it is. I'll figure it out one of these days, people. I'm new to this stuff. On 32 Thoughts, the podcast, they talked about Mason Michelli from the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Bruins were in on him last year. The Bruins are looking for a scoring winner. The guy hasn't been playing in Toronto. Are the Bruins in on him? I don't think they are in on him. I do think the Bruins are kicking tires to try and bring in somebody of that ilk. They're not looking for high-end talent because they're not going to willing to give up futures. I think the dangling pieces are Fabian Lysell or Matthew Poitras. Probably looking for a, hey, you've got this issue, I've got ours, just like the Husadinov trade with Minnesota. I know people love Justin Brazel, and I know he did well going to Pittsburgh, but he wasn't going to get the ice time in Boston, so they wanted to move on from him. And Husadinov wasn't getting the ice time in Minnesota. It's you give me what you can't fit in your square peg, and we'll give you what we have. Friedman said that the Bruins are, even though they're doing well, they're looking into getting better. I'm wondering what they're actually going to do on that trade front because I'm very, very curious just based on everything we know about the Boston Bruins season going in. I think Patra and Lysell, those guys, they dangle, but they're not going to trade futures, but they want somebody. But do they already have him? And is his name Alex Steves?
I mean, he was a Leaf.
Yes, good point.
Already fits 80% of that equation. I think of them looking like up front is both glaring and telling for, say, a Fabian Lysell or Matthew Patra. Because one thing that I do think that's been sneaky good from Marco Sturm's part this year with the Bruins so far, and I know we're only into December of the first season, but he seems very like there's a really good term that Stephen King uses when he's writing, the author, of course. Very great term I love. It's called
Is
"Kill
there
Your
another?
Darlings."
Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting. Is there another Stephen King? I was just
There might be.
okay. Tell your term. Sorry, say
No
your
worries.
yeah.
But yeah, he has a saying when you're writing and editing. It's called "Kill Your Darlings." And if you have a story that you're working on after 3 months and it's not going anywhere, but you know the core of that story is good, get rid of it. And
Sweeney
I'm
did that
not
last year, and his name was Brad Marchand. And I'm sorry, people, it worked out. People can get
worked
mad
out
all they
well for
want.
both
I think it
sides.
worked out well because they had to get
And
rid of that core. Continue.
yeah, and I'm at that point with Matt Poitras and Fabian Lysell where I'm like, well, it worked, but it's not working. And I think when you talk about getting a winner that you can potentially get for upfront, Poitras has a good resume. Fabian Lysell has a high ceiling and a boatload of like, can you untap this potential? So yeah, I think as far as like them going out, they're not going to get futures, but
No,
one
they're not gonna
person
get much for either one of them, believe it or not, people. Their value isn't
yeah,
as high as we think. I love Matthew Poitras, but I think he can only play center, and I just don't know where he fits in the lineup. And Fabian Lysell, I'm not big on him, but I know other people are because Bruins Twitter won't stop talking about Fabian Lysell.
yeah. The territory that I use when people bring up these two guys is Jack Stanika. I said, we've entered the Jack Stanika territory
Florida
with them where
Panther,
we're
buddy.
yeah. that's the back pocket offer Florida has to really destroy our franchise. They turn
Yes.
him into the next Patrice Bergeron. But that's a good
Which
joke for
Fraser
another
Minton
time.
isn't? The people on Twitter, please stop. Don't
Yeah.
do that to Fraser Minton. Don't compare him to Patrice Bergeron. Yes, he could have potential of being a 2C, but I still don't see a 1C potential out of Fraser Minton. In fact, I know Brett, who's probably definitely going to listen to this one because Bobbie's on here now, loved that third line. Please stop. I almost unfollowed you on social media for those comments. But
I was in on that party too. So
yeah, I know, but Brett he was the cheerleader. He's like the leader of the party. I still thought that Pastrnak had way more skill and Fraser Minton is just not there yet to handle it. I thought he had a
yeah,
very
I
good
agree.
one game, but I didn't think he looked that good with Pasta last night. It's just what I saw. It's just from what I was watching in the game. I actually thought when they moved Steves down to his line, I thought him and Steves played very well together. They were very
Yeah.
complementary of the way they play their game. I think Fraser Minton is a lot more effective when he's crashing and banging and playing his two-way hockey game instead of trying to look for goals. And I think
Yeah.
that threw him
I
off at the
agree.
beginning of the game against Winnipeg because he was playing with Pasta and he was like, "Oh my god, I can score goals now." And he was gripping his stick and he was trying to get all these goals. And I was like, "Oh, dude, you keep making mistakes. Stop doing that."
Yeah.
And then
No,
he
I
played
agree. Yeah.
great. He played great.
Yeah. Compared from what I saw him in Toronto to the first part of last night's game, it was very much like ooh.
Yeah,
But I was
dude.
also like, maybe is Winnipeg good? Um,
No,
as far as
they
like a
weren't good
trade
last
up
night.
front, yeah. As far as like a trade up front or something, I can't help because the hometown team, I'm not saying they're gonna throw in a tally yet, but as far as like a Matt Poitras, Fabian Lysell conversation, Brad Lambert fits your mold of like, hey, this not working here, it's not working there. Can we just swap our problems and see if we can both solve them? That it's not a second line winner per se, but it's someone else you can give a chance to potentially steal that spot, and it's, like a retool in your prospects, essentially.
Very much. I 1000% agree with you, especially with everything that is going on with this Boston Bruins team. I have a hard time wanting to say that as much as I can criticize management, and I'm right there. Maybe they're right, and maybe we're all wrong, and maybe we get so caught up in these prospects, and we're like, "This is," and we keep saying they need a youth movement. Well, the roster's pretty darn young.
Mhm.
Someone called me out on this, and then they were right, and I looked into it. I was like, "Yeah, they are." Like, Husadinov, he just came in the league a couple years ago. Fraser Minton just came in. Like, they're young. It's a
Yeah.
very young team. When David Pastrnak is one of your oldest, like, it's a young team. They really are. I think they are a right shot defense. I think their biggest need is on the right shot defense. Now with Aspero out, they needed it. Like, they're hurting on defense. I'm very curious on what they do. Harris is out, Aspero's out, Callahan's out. Like, it's just walking wounded back there. I'm wondering if they call was it? Oh no, Burnett's hurt too down in Providence. Like,
Burnett's hurt,
yeah,
yeah.
like they're in trouble. I am very and Yoki Hiro is hurt. Like, Jesus, like I don't know what they're gonna do
I've
back there. They need someone on that right side on that back end. Soderstrom, I think, has played. I don't understand. Soderstrom played better with Lowry. I don't know why you break up that pair, but weird.
yeah, that like, not to keep circling like, going back, but that was so I didn't get to see Swayman play, that's fine, I get it, but not getting to see Soderstrom play, I was a little bit like,
I thought he
"Pay
played
good
well enough
money.
to stay in the
Pay
lineup.
pay good money for this. I coulda went to this game for free. I gave you money.
Well,
Why is
he's
he
the guy who's
not?"
coming back in the lineup, right? You know, he
100%.
Aspero's down, so Soderstrom's coming in, but I still think the Bruins, even though, Elliot Friedman said the Bruins need some scoring, I think right now they're in wait and see mode because Steve's has
Mhm.
been able to provide them some punch. I'm not saying he's providing them scoring, but he's providing them as and I know he's a good you like this player when he was here. He's providing as much scoring as Jake DeBrusk did when he was here, so if that's what you're gonna get as a third line winger, or you put him on the second line, like, because I think Arvidsson has played well when he's not hurt.
Yeah,
So,
that's yeah.
this Bruins team is not a Stanley Cup contender. They are a lunch pail kids that are going out there and winning hockey games, but they still, as of right now, probably get caved in the first round. Unless Swayman stands on his head in the defense, like Zadorov has played phenomenal. McAvoy, Zadorov, and Hampus Lindholm together has been fantastic. That the defense chugs on them. They're the choo choo, but I think they need more help on the right side and the back end than anything else. And
Yeah.
I know they're looking around and they're looking for trades, but I think maybe Lysell, I think if you're going to move him and you don't give him a chance, you move him for somebody that is just the same situation at his team. And the Bruins are like, well, we'll just trade the guy that doesn't fit. I think Potra's the guy that you could probably, if you're, because James Hagan is above him on the depth charts, and I think,
Mhm.
to my opinion, this is just my opinion. I think Fraser Minton solidified his death in this Bruins
Yeah.
organization. I don't see how. Like Hagens is going to come in at the end of the year and be playing Providence, but he's your centerman of the future, and Lindholm ain't going anywhere. So where does Matthew
I
Poitras fit? So Matthew Poitras can get you a defenseman, not a great defenseman, but a serviceable one.
it's funny that you bring that up because I brought this up on OB. I said, "If you're Poitras and you're Lysell, this is very reminiscent, obviously different league, but very reminiscent of when Leon and Connor came in Edmonton, and Taylor and Jordan were just sitting there like, 'Oh, this is done.'
Yeah.
Like our chance of taking this team, it's done. It's over."
Well, yeah, but these guys are in the minors, and I get your
Yeah.
your comparison, but I think there are. I hate talking about rumors around players like Fabian Lysell. Supposedly, there's rumors of him just being a poopy pants off the ice, and he's got to stick up his butt. I don't know that to be true. So I'm not. I look at his ice play, and I think he's played well in Providence. I think he
Mhm.
deserves a chance to play in the top six, especially if Arvidsson's out for a considerable amount of time. If Arvidsson's still out and they play that home game against the Utah Mammoth, I would hope to heck that Lysell is in the lineup and he's playing in the top six. And you move Steves down to that third line. And I think if the Bruins can find someone to play on that second line unless Arvidsson is back or they want to upgrade. I still think Steves is that line of Steves, Ustinov, and Minton is a very good third
Very
line.
good
You
line.
have Minton and Ustinov plays a two-way game. Minton plays a phenomenal two-way game. He's more of a disher than a goal scorer. I know he can score goals every now and then, but if that could be your third line, that's a great third line.
It's a
With
great
that
third
fourth
line.
line of
That's
Kastelik, Jeannot, and Corrali, that's a phenomenal fourth line. Sorry, Mike Easymont, like, you're odd man out right now, dude. Like, that sucks. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm very curious on what they do because I would think that they do give Lysell that chance.
That's the hope, right? And like if it works out, perfect, awesome. I'm here for it. If it doesn't, you can't hold on to prospects until their value goes down, right? You have to be 200% sure you're ready to move on from somebody. You have to be.
Mhm.
But you also, yeah, it's a fine line that you have to dangle with. As far as like the rumors, we've heard those for 2 to 3 years now. I don't know. There's people are gonna talk. People are gonna make. But I also have friends who go to Providence games, and I'll ask them about it, and they go, "I don't know."
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Because I hate it.
Mhm.
I get people in my comments all the time. I have a couple people that come in on a weekly basis to say Swayman's an issue in the locker room. Couple things on this one. I have asked around till I'm blue in the face, and I've asked people in the media, I've asked people in the organization. No one can confirm this. No one is saying that's true. In fact, that they're more laughable than anything else. I don't everything I watch on Behind the B, or you can see body language, guys. Like, you can see it on the bench when players don't like each other. Or I say one of the biggest X factors here is just see if they're following each other on social media. Like,
Yeah.
it's just these are things that are real. Like, I was big into that one with the whole Jake DeBrusk thing near the end and the Trent Frederick thing at the end. I was like, well, just see who follows him and doesn't follow him on social media. And then you can see that there are some guys that are not buddies with them. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
after they leave and the year goes by, they're like, unfollow. And it is what it is. But from my understanding, there is zero issue with Swayman in the room. And I do find, because they're saying that Lysell is lazy and he thinks he's the best. I don't see it. I don't see that on the ice. I just think he needs to work on his two-way game, and it's Boston. And for him to stick in this lineup, especially the way Marco Sturm plays hockey, that's the way they've got to play. Plain and simple. And we watched. He's not wrong. That's how they're winning hockey games.
Mhm.
It is what it is, right? You can't. Pastrnak can, have his lapses, but he also got 7 points in 2 games. He wins you your hockey games. He is your MVP. He's the Hart. He should win, possibly be in the Hart Trophy conversation, but I hate rumors, people. I hate things that are unsubstantiated because you can't. Unless someone
Yeah.
comes out and says it, they're all just rumors at this point. And
Oh,
they suck to say because players hear this crap and it's garbage. Ask Brett. Talk
yeah.
talk smack about a player. You're gonna get smacked in the face.
Yeah, no, that's the side of fandom that I've never liked in any regard, in any whether it's sports, music, movies. I'm always just like, you're not there. And if you were, maybe you saw one thing
People
and
get
you
mad at
don't
each
know the
other all the time.
context. And I'm gonna squash this Wayman thing right now because at the end of the game last night, because there's not enough room on the bench for him to sit on in the Winnipeg arena. So he was doing the classic Carolina thing, just sitting by the hallway there. And he came out as soon as that game was over, and everyone was happy. There was no like awkward, like you're here, like he's dabbing people up. He even cut in line, kind of laughing about it. And I was just like, I was happy for him because I was like, yeah, he had rough few games here. No,
I
there is no animosity there.
No, I don't think so. I go back to
Yeah.
what Zadorov did. There was a clip that went viral last year that people were like, he's Zadorov's calling him out. Zadorov obviously follows social media because the next time he got in a scrum, he corrected that like instantly. But people still went viral with it and acted like it was gospel, even though Zadorov came out. They're like, "Oh, he had to do that." No, I don't believe Zadorov has to do that stuff. I
Mhm,
believe Zadorov to be a true leader in that dressing room. And when he came out and was like, "That's not what I meant," you people took it the wrong way. He was being serious. I
mhm.
see zero issue with this team. Zero in the dressing room. In fact, I think that it's gotten better since they made a whole bunch of trades last year. I think
Yeah,
it can
I
happen in a
agree.
dressing room. I played hockey my whole life. It can happen in a dressing room when you have a bunch of veterans in there that run the room. and the personalities clash. It happens. I'm not saying Brad Marchand was a problem. I'm not saying Charlie McAvoy was a problem. I just think they needed new voices
Yeah.
and a new mix, and maybe it was a lot more serious. They you got to remember those guys that all got moved last year. They were part of a Bruins team where there was like the accountability on each other was unbelievable.
Mhm.
I know that for a fact. Like the accountability was nuts in that room, and though it's hard for anybody to turn that off at all. And Marchand kind of spoke to it going to Florida. Like it felt like he said it felt like it was when he was with the guys before. It was
Yeah.
probably more frustrating for a guy that's such a competitor and always wanted to win and is used to winning, to play on a team like the Bruins last year where it's your life, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Why do we suck?" You're finding reasons to be frustrated. It is what it is. I just think that all those guys, it was time and it worked out. I truly think Sweeney was a masterclass at the trade deadline last year. Yes, he probably could have got more for Brad Marchand, but he also put him where Brad Marchand wanted to go.
Yeah.
He did
Which is
like,
huge. That
literally all the
speaks
favors.
volumes. That's if you're a free agent or if you're someone that's willing to waive your that's the stuff that players are like, "I'll go there." Because that GM, as much as he makes hard decisions, that GM respects his players. You put in the time and the work that I'm gonna put in, that's a GM that's gonna value that. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well," but like that's the cold, honest truth with it.
100%.
Like,
Well,
it's still a business.
we could talk about this till we're blue in the face,
Yeah,
but I
absolutely.
wanted to share something because, can you see this on the screen?
I can, yeah.
But it looks terrible, doesn't it? I gotta figure out a way. I'll pop it
It
on the screen. Just act like it's on the I wanna talk about something. People that are watching this, I'm gonna put it in post. Bobbie knows what this thing looks like, because I'm trying to share it on my screen and I can't figure it out. People in the chat, if they know how to use this thing so I can, um man, I just got to figure out how to do this. The Boston Bruins have introduced a brand new jersey. All right, I'm going to look at it on my screen while I'm talking about it, but it is, as Pete Blackburn wanted to say, it's piss yellow, but I think it's gold. At first, I wasn't a big fan, but now that I've gotten to look at it, my daughter really likes it. Her instantly was like, "Daddy, I want this jersey." I was like, "Yeah, really? Okay." Because I don't like the things that I'm not a big fan of is I don't like the white sleeves, and I'm not a big fan of the crest. And I think I'm not a big fan of the crest because I think the Bruins logo is perfect. And I think that if the sleeves were in the front were yellow and the Boston Bruins actual crest was in the middle, this jersey would be banana pants. Because I don't mind the B on the shoulder with the
Mhm.
claw marks on it, and I don't mind the giant ode to football with these giant numbers. But I love the yellow. I almost wish that they went with like if they were going with these white sleeves to go with white pants and a white helmet, but that's just me. But I want to get your take on these new jerseys.
I like them. I like them. I was like everyone else, the Tampa Bay Leaks kit, and I was like, "Oof, I don't know." Like, with that being said, now that I've actually got, like, the press kit for the Tampa Bay jerseys, I actually think they're really cool. I think the TBL and the lightning inside the embroidery is awesome. But the what I was nervous about was Boston was just gonna go way off or keep it too safe, and they found a really happy medium with these jerseys. I'm with you. The crest, I'm a little bit like, I get because they're gonna be the road team. I get you have to have Boston somewhere on there to rep your city. But it's the little designs like right after the numbers, the kind of like sunrise kind of thing that they do, the embroidery there. I think that's pretty cool. The piss yellow, I mean, it's gold. It's gold, but it's the piss and vinegar thing. It's gonna circle back.
I know
My
people really love
only
this piss and vinegar thing, eh?
They
Like
love
people are
it.
loving the piss and vinegar.
I think my favorite part about it though, it's not something we've seen them do before. And
Okay.
I know a lot of the times what they've done is they've revised all the jerseys. When they did the 2019 Winter Classic, it was kind of a take on the jerseys. A little bit of what they wore in that 93, 75, 75th anniversary season. A little bit of a take of what they wore
Yeah,
in like
look,
the
I figured it out.
40s.
People
There
can
we
see it
go.
now. Woohoo!
Who's Andrew Peak's the captain? Is
I
that
know, eh?
no.
This provided by Fanatics, great people at Fanatics provided me uh, the media stuff for it, and but the jersey looks better in these high res images. It
Yeah.
pops, like it really
I
does.
think I think once you see them on the ice or if you see them in person, you're gonna be like, "Oh." And the thing I like about it too is, like, it does have a football feel to it.
It
Kinda
does.
has a college jersey feel to it.
Notre Dame.
And like I said, it's different. It's not something we've seen before, and that's like if you collect jerseys like I do, it's you're like, "Oh, I'm not just gonna get a giant B?"
I want the darn thing. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, I'm
it.
buying it, yeah.
I am
15.
I'm right there with you. I think it is right up there with the. I wasn't a fan of the Pooh Bear. I am older statesman, and when the Pooh Bear came out, I was like, "This is the nastiest thing I've ever seen." Especially the Tampa Bay Lightning jersey at that time. Oh my god, the ugliest thing I've ever
Oof.
seen. But when everybody wanted the Pooh Bear back out, I was right up there with Patrice Bergeron. I don't know if anybody knows. He got interviewed, and he was like, "That was the ugliest Bruins jersey in the history of this franchise." But when they made the reverse retro with it and they put it in the white, I was like, "Damn it, I love the jersey."
It cleaned it up.
Um,
It
and
also
I
helps
think
when Bergeron's modeling it.
yes, 100 the sexiest man alive. I do think that people are gonna look at these jerseys and be fond of them later on. I like that they took a chance on them. I like I said, I really like the B up in the top corner. I love the fact on the pants that has the bear claw as well. I think that is a great touch. I I'm a little apprehensive about the little stitching on the arms, the weird like
Mhm.
indenting. I have to see it up close to understand it more, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit why, but I I I I I still wish it was a Bruins logo. Okay, I'm never gonna lose that, or maybe just the bear. But there was also the concepts of them. These originally were supposed to be white, and they looked amazing as white jerseys.
Yeah.
But
When
you're
the
not gonna get a third jersey in Boston that's white, people. That's not gonna happen. NHL has made this clear in the last little bit. Dark jerseys sell.
yeah. That's the trend, that's the movement. As soon as I saw that sketch, 'cause it was Bella Fraser? You probably
Yes.
have that in
Yeah.
your kit too, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, it was supposed to be white." And you know what probably happened a few
I
weeks
don't have it in
ago?
my kit. I did not get sent that from
Oh,
Fanatics.
okay.
No, 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 no.
No worries. I just saw, yeah, Bella posted it. And you know, my theory, what I think what happened, and this is crazy to say because obviously they have these jerseys are ready come the summer, but my theory, my dream, like crazy conspiracy theory, is they watched the Colorado and Hartford Whalers game, or not. Who is it? Detroit and New York, and
Yeah,
they
the
both wore
other
the
night where they
Centennial
did the black on
jerseys,
black. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're like,
No,
"Oh,
Chicago.
color and color
Chicago and New York.
works."
Color and color.
Chicago, New York. Well, I think a month ago, Detroit wore the Centennials and New York wore the Centennials. I was like,
Yes, and they're also gonna be doing a game in Montreal, like, where
"That's right."
Colorado's gonna wear the Notre Dame jersey in Montreal, and Montreal's gonna wear the
Yeah,
red versus blue.
which is gonna be great. Um,
Unbelievable. Yeah, you made a post last night on Twitter, 'cause I'm never calling it X, that the Winnipeg Boston jerseys last night was the best you've ever seen. I would dare to say no, because Carolina wore Hartford Whalers jerseys once against the Boston Bruins, and that's the best we'll ever see. When
oh
Hartford
no,
plays, yeah, I'm
yeah,
just saying.
if
They
with our
haven't
new
done it this year.
jerseys,
This year with new
yeah,
jerseys, you're correct right now so far, I'll
that'll
give
be
you
the
that,
move.
but once Carolina plays the Bruins and they wear the Hartford Whalers jerseys, it's over. It's
That'll
over.
take it. Yeah,
It's over.
that'll take it. I am a heritage snob though. I love the heritage logo, the heritage Jets heritage logo, Jets heritage jerseys. That was why I was like, this is it. It's all I've ever wanted. But yeah, so I think maybe them getting a color on color scheme in a stadium series is just gonna look better on TV, can be better to sell.
It also will
And
look better with the light, because if you read it, like,
mhm,
they did talk about that a lot with the bright lights being outdoors with these colors, it's gonna pop. I don't mind the Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys now that we've seen them after the link. I
mhm.
think the leaks actually made these jerseys look terrible, because whoever's phone that is who did that, "Hey, dude, get a new phone. Your camera sucks." Like,
Yeah,
what are you using, an iPhone 4? Like, what is that? Like,
yeah,
the
it's
color grading
2025.
yeah,
Like
like, the color grading on
you
that was absolutely embarrassing. Like, it
You
was
can
like
get like an S22 for like $50 a month with a plan,
whatever.
an
Like,
iPhone 14. Like you're come on.
was it like, did they record it on like a BlackBerry? Like, it was so bad, those pictures.
It's terrible.
Because the vibrant pictures that we got sent and that they were posted last night by the Bruins, and they posted a fun little video with Pastrnak this morning, the jersey pops, and the fact that my daughter loves it, that's who it's for. Like, the stadium
Exactly.
jerseys aren't Winter Classic jerseys. I'll still never understand why they've decided that the stadium jersey is the lesser of the two. Um, I still think, and this is just my personal opinion, I know the Meth Bear isn't coming back. I love the reverse retros that they wore. I think we just need next year, the Bruins' third jersey is gold with the Bruins, like everything the same. They have the white, the black, and they have a gold, and that's their jerseys. And I think we'll all be happy. And then every now and then they're going to wear the black with the gold socks, and we'll freak out and we'll lose our freaking minds. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Because that first reverse retro jersey was probably
Oh, it's right there in the bottom corner. I look at it all the time when
it's
I do it. It's so nice.
yeah, it's probably my favorite jersey.
And I
Um,
never got one.
oh,
And you can't
I
get them.
snagged one. Yeah, I
I'm an
snagged
idiot.
one, and I'll make you feel. I'll tell a funny story about this actually. So I snagged one, had a blank, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till the Lake Tahoe game happens, and whoever was the best, I thought was the best player that night, I'll get their name on the jersey to commemorate the event and everything. Pass the scores to Hattie. The guy I take to get my jersey stitched, diehard Flyers fan. So Monday morning, walked into his shop and he just like head down, put the jersey on. I was like, so we're gonna go with pasta. And he was like, yeah, I'll have it ready for you in a week.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I got to go to the Winter Classic where I got to watch the fight and the Flyers game, but at least he was stitching it. He had tears, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's all we want.
Yeah.
We just want tears while he's doing it. But I wanted to end the show as I do. Like last show I did, we talked about, guys making the Olympic team just to have fun. I want to have a fun conversation, and I don't want to have like people can come in. I want to hear anytime we do a topic, I want people to jump in and leave their thoughts. Because honestly, one of my favorite things about doing Bruins Diehards is literally talking to people in my YouTube comments, because I get so many wide ranges of conversations, and I have zero issue with admitting when I'm wrong. I also love when people give me that other perspective, because we all watch hockey through a certain lens and we all have different perspectives. And that leads me to, after last night's game, I am on the David Pastrnak for Hart Trophy bandwagon like it's nobody's business. But there are some caveats to it. If the Bruins don't make the playoffs, he won't even be thought of in this conversation. But if they do, I think he is going to be a serious contender for the Hart Trophy this year.
I agree. I that's the one I have a tough time with, because I think last year he should have been at least nominated, but I get the playoff aspect of it. I do get it.
It's not just an aspect. I think it's a must. To
Yeah.
be totally honest. Like, he's got 36 points this year in 27 games, 13 goals, 23 assists. He's got 7 points in the last 2 games since he came back from injury. And I would dare to say that before his injury, he was hurt. And then he just couldn't take it anymore and he went off. Heck, he came back. He's such a Hart player. He came back and played on the third line for 2 games. Well, a game.
Yeah.
A game. He did not play on the third line last night, people. So
yeah,
I
I
want
think
to.
that alone, and like the fact that last year they were a dumpster fire, he was one of the, I think was he top 5 or top 10 last year
Yeah.
for scoring?
Yep. And
And
he is
still produced during that slump towards the end.
He is 16th overall in the NHL right now with 36 points. He has played 27 games, so he's played less games. Nathan MacKinnon is. So here's why I'm saying I'm all in for Pastrnak being nominated for Hart. I still think McKinnon's gonna win the Hart because the Colorado Avalanche are a weapon. I still don't understand the year the Bruins were the weapon, and no one was really in those conversations when I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They're the best team.
Yeah.
Nathan MacKinnon is playing like the best player in the world. Connor McDavid is playing like the best player in the world again after not, but again, he's back there. So it would be tough for him. I still think he'll be in the conversation because my issue with the Hart Trophy is it always goes to whoever's got the most points, 9 times out of 10.
Mhm.
And I thought, to me, the whole reason behind the trophy is who means the most to their team. And I think yes, the Bruins won without Pastrnak in the lineup, but at the same time, I don't think they get to where they are and listen to Sturm like they have been without him. Because a guy that plays usually one way has decided to do what Marco Sturm has told him to do, and he's been successful.
Yeah. I'd also say a huge implication of the Hart is what he does off the ice, the stuff that the cameras don't see. And I think just him pumping Geeky's tires, like the confidence he gave him. I'm sure the confidence he gave Steve's, like those are the things you don't see where you're like, oh, like even with him off, like it was kind of like Bergeron, like when Bergeron would take a game off or he'd go down, the Bruins never skipped a beat. And I think it's because you have someone in that room that's just constantly reminding you why you're here, helping you with your game, giving you constructive criticism. And it's just like kind of ingrained into their culture because I know they love throwing that word around.
Well, that's a hockey thing. That's the
Yeah.
team culture. Like I will say this. I know they do love throwing it around, but my dad, who played for the team, throws it around a lot about the Boston Bruins. He played for the Vancouver Canucks, he played for the Atlanta Flames, and he played for the Boston Bruins in one game with Calgary. So that doesn't count. But it counts to him, but it doesn't count with like knowing the team and knowing the organization. He told me the Boston Bruins was the best culture and the best dressing room he's ever played on. He said as an organization, he said as ownership group, like top down, everybody was treated with class. And we heard that from Nikita Zadorov in the latest episode from Behind the B. He wouldn't stop raving on how well he is felt by the city of Boston, by the fan base, by the management, everything about playing in Boston, he feels like he's part of a family. And that goes a long way. That can bring players in. And I think David Pastrnak embodies this. He has done a phenomenal job of not just being the goofy kid anymore. He is literally being a leader on this hockey club on and off the ice. Like the first thing that comes out of his mouth after the game is, "Man, I really wish I got Geeks that goal." Like that's what he cared about. He knows he scored but you could see it. He went right to him after he scored the goal. He wanted to get it to him. He didn't care. He wanted to make the unselfish play. And I even thought that Geeky was making a ton of unselfish plays last night. And I think he learned that from David Pastrnak. I truly do, because it's a big bromance between the two. Because when
Mhm.
Geeks was just on Spitting Chicklets, he raved about David Pastrnak. When David Pasternak's interviewed, he's raving about Morgan Geeky, or as you said, Steves, or somebody. Husadinov. He raved about Horsadinov. He has done a phenomenal job of raving about some player on this team all the time. But he's 16th in scoring in the NHL. He could be in the top 10. He's only off by 4 points to be in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
Like he is, and he means that much to this team. They wouldn't be where they are. The other teams that are up there, you got Colorado, Edmonton, San Jose, like Macklin Celebrini should be in these conversations. These guys are making their team. The Boston Bruins, all of us, include all of us, thought they were not going to be this good. I could say that right now. I did not think they were
Yeah.
going to be this good.
100%. It was jokes made, but I was like, no,
No, and
they're
I
not gonna tank.
still,
You're not going to tank.
I
Not with
still like
Swayman.
this team is for real, and I think it has a lot to do with David Pastrnak.
Are you on the train? Are you on the for real train?
I
For real
think
wagon?
so. I put it out the other day. I think I believe in this team. I don't believe that they're a Stanley Cup contender. I believe they can make the playoffs. I truly, truly believe they can. And if they get in, anything is possible. Anybody can go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Anybody.
I'm with you. I'm with you because I don't. You got a lot of things got to go right. You got to be.
A ton.
You got to be amazing on each
Just
line to
keep
make it to the
playing. Keep
finals.
playing like you are. Keep playing
Yeah.
like you are. You'll make the playoffs.
But I will say this: there are 7 other teams that are going to get into the playoffs in the East, and I bet you any money, anyone goes up to either of those 7 teams, who do you not want to play in the first round? They're all going to say Boston.
I agree with you, because I think Jeremy Swayman has played phenomenal this year. We already know he is definitely a high pressure goalie. He was great for the Bruins in the playoffs. He was great for Team USA at the World Championship. His resume, and you know what? Guess what? Jeremy Swayman's going to be great for Team USA because he's going to the Olympics. Like Jeremy Swayman's going to the Olympics, people. Like the goalies aren't changing. It's Hellebuck, it's Ottinger, it's Swayman. I love the tiny discourse around it. That discourse is like disappeared. Swayman's going to the Olympics. So we'll see. I'm on the train. I'm not the conductor. I think I'm in the caboose, but I'm on the train. I could jump off at any minute, but I kind of believe. I don't know what it is about this team. They are in a playoff spot right now, which is saying a lot about this hockey team. And I don't think it's going to change. I think they're 38 points. They're tied for first in their Atlantic division. They've got a .594 winning percentage. Yes, the team below them, the Detroit Red Wings, has got 37 points. Montreal Canadiens, who found a goalie in Jacob Fowler. Shocker. The guy's the better goalie. They're 35 points. Any given side, it changes all the time. But that's what's great. The only thing that stays the same, and someone said this to me the other day, is the Buffalo Sabres suck.
Yeah.
And the Ottawa Senators suck. Guys, Linus Ullmark, the Bruins look like they might have swindled the Ottawa Senators here. Linus Ullmark is making
11 goals for the Bruins already.
Dude,
Ullmark hasn't even scored a goal for the Senators.
It's not even that. I think Ullmark has struggled this year. He's probably having one of his worst years in a really long time. He was the older of the two goalies. The Bruins sold high. I think they didn't get enough back for him at the time. I still, to this day, I understand they didn't want Chychrun because they couldn't get an extension, so they didn't want to do that deal. The Letourneau's could turn out to be a gem. Kastelik, I love. I love him in your bottom six. I think he's a very good player. Korpisalo, I could do without. But Linus Ullmark costs the same amount. Everybody loves talking about how much Swayman makes. Linus Ullmark makes the same amount as Swayman, and I would rather have Jeremy Swayman every day of the week. And you can't have both because that platoon thing is done. No one does that in the NHL anymore. It's over.
Yeah. Just to circle on that, it was Swayman before we got the Hallmark, and it was going to be Swayman after. He was never a part of the long term.
Nope.
No, he was always that fail-safe that you were going to trade midway through that contract.
Or he was supposed to be your backup, and he got good.
Yeah.
They thought Jonas Korpisalo, goalie Bob, thought he could, lightning in a bottle again, and it just hasn't worked out. And no offense to Jonas Korpisalo. Some are saying that he's got some sightline issues. Dom's saying, look at his helmet, look at stuff like that. I thought he played okay. I thought he played very well for the Bruins in the third period against the Winnipeg Jets. He seems to play better when he's under pressure. So, you know what? At the beginning of every game he starts, just let them score, and then we'll move on and we'll have a game. Because Jonas Korpisalo makes phenomenal saves when he's in under pressure. He's very good at it. He's very good at the screen. He can see it. He's got rebound control issues. Swayman's got puck. Korpisalo plays with the puck better than Swayman, but Swayman's a better goalie. He has better angles. He has better rebound control. He's just a better goalie all around. There's a reason he's our starting goalie. We'll see. Bobbie, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I truly appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody for listening, everybody suggesting I should do a podcast. Please leave your comments about any conversation we had. Click like, subscribe. Check out Only Bruins. Check out Only Bruins. No, I literally was I was going to cough. Am I going to cough? Check out Only Bruins Pod. I'm going to leave a link to everything. I'm going to put Bobbie's Twitter down below. I'm going to put a link to their YouTube page. I'm going to put a link to their Spotify and to their Apple Podcast. I don't have Apple Podcasts because I ain't paying for that garbage. It is what it is. Unless people can figure out a way for the Apple Podcast to be free, it's not going to happen at this time. But thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.